Coming home and hearing some of the stories that the kids were telling me is just unbelievable.
She is a powerful principal with a fair share of supporters and enemies. Good evening, everyone. We're talking about this woman, Crystal Barton, the now suspended principal of McKinley High School here in Buffalo.
Her career shrouded in controversy, from student suspensions to LGBTQ rights, and now new allegations she misused tens of thousands of your tax dollars. Tonight, Chief I-Team investigator Charlie Specht exposes Barton's power, reach, and influence.
She's a survivor, an old-school principal with her fair share of supporters and enemies, too.
Tough as nails, tough.
Crystal Bowling Barton has been one of the Buffalo City Schools' most controversial figures for decades. And the controversy only grew in May when she was suspended for allegedly discriminating against LGBTQ students. But 8 months later, Barton appears no closer to returning to McKinley. The I-Team has learned that the district's investigation has expanded from those original LGBT issues to other allegations made against the principal. Meanwhile, that suspension is costing taxpayers big bucks. Barton made more than $152,000 last year, including more than $95,000. The district says it paid her during her ongoing suspension. And earlier today, the district announced it is investigating whether she misused $22,000 in public funds on African-American artifacts. Her attorney says she did nothing improper. Barton has been McKinley's principal for 30 years, but some parents say the school is doing just fine without her.
The school itself seems to be calmer. Coming home and hearing some of the stories that the kids were telling me is just unbelievable.
Her supporters, though, say the stability she created at McKinley is slipping away.
It's the #1 school that most kids want to go to that school. And why? Parents want them to go to that school too, because there is structure and respect and discipline.
She believes that the teachers make a difference in the classroom. And if she gets a teacher that does not make a difference with kids, she will ask you to ask for a transfer.
Barton's attorney says she won't be pushed out without a fight.
Mrs. Barton is not going anywhere. She is going to remain the principal for as long as she can.
Attorney Robert Boreanaz says the notion that she would discriminate against gay students is ridiculous.
It flat out did not happen. We believe perhaps the superintendent's office was more than happy to have a lawsuit filed that might try and snare up Crystal Barton.
District officials counter with a statement saying its primary interest is to ensure that employees and students are treated fairly. Don Van Every is one of the few people who saw both sides of Barton during his 10 years on the Buffalo School Board.
She and her staff were good at foraging to help kids find a place to land. On the other hand, if you didn't get along with her, she was pretty tough, especially on kids that were vulnerable.
One student in particular comes to mind.
Miss Javonna Kincannon.
Javonna Kincannon crossed Barton 10 years ago as a student and found herself suspended from school and at the center of a controversy that grabbed headlines for months.
I was so happy leaving McKinley.
Van Every left the school board right before that controversy erupted, but he wasn't surprised to see Barton making a point and not backing down.
In those things, she was very strong and very opinionated and very clearly not going to give an inch.
You can't bring Crystal down. No way. No matter what the outcome will be, Crystal will be still standing. Mark my word.
Now, Barton's attorney was in state court today arguing for her to be reinstated as principal. The judge said no, so for now, she stays at home.
All right, so what's the next step here, Charlie? Is there a time frame? What's the time frame for this all being resolved, you think?
Well, she'll be back in court in March, but really the district, even if they file formal charges against her, that could drag on for months with really no end in sight here for the taxpayer.
All right, Charlie Specht, thank you so much for your reporting tonight.